Before we get started, we're going through a kind of a tough time right now. So to everyone out there, just take care of yourselves. Let's just ride this out and we'll come out together the other side. Okay? All right. Be safe out there. On with the show. You might know David Cronenberg, the director. He's got a certain style, technology is bad, people are gross, and deformities are common. Scanners, Videodrome, Naked Lunch.
I can think of at least 2 things wrong with that title.
If you were wondering why the Rick and Morty Cronenberg universe was so malformed, here you go. When I was little, I was freaked out by the original Fly. I didn't understand what was happening, just that there was this man with a fly's head and a fly with a human's head. That shit was freaky. So you have the Fly, Cronenberg, put those 2 things together, and you get the gross, the disturbing. This is the Fly. Yes, produced by Mel Brooks. How funny is that? We open with Seth Brundle, played by Jeff Goldblum, picking up Ronnie, played by Gina Davis. He's trying really hard. He's really got his game going. I'm sure everyone has a line.
I'm working on something that'll change the world and human life as we know it.
I dare you to try that line at your next party. Got hand sanitizer and toilet paper at home. It works. She goes home with him, with the prospect of seeing this amazing invention of his. And it's not for science and chill. Ronnie, a seasoned reporter, and she's awfully trusting of this guy she just met. He lives in a warehouse, amazing what you find on apartments.com, in a barren part of town. The whole place looks like a giant red flag. Every fire hydrant is a headstone for a dead hooker. First, I'm gonna need a kidney. What size ball gag do you wear? Seth pulls out all the stops. Why he's single, I'll never know.
Listen, maybe this is a bad idea.
Flee, flee! Finally, she sees his invention. This giant metal honey dipper is the world's first working teleporter, which he demonstrates.
Say, do you have something on you that's personal?
I was thinking of a wallet, but okay, whore. Paging Dr. Freud.
It'll change the world as we know it, right?
He should have known a journalist would be compelled to write about this.
No. I thought this was personal. You can't write about this.
But he brought home a journalist, so he had to know she would want to write about this. What'd you bring her home for? So she takes her story and runs out. Her boss and editor is Stathis, played by John Getz.
What do you think?
It's a joke.
Brundle wants it kept under wraps for now. Why?
I can only teleport inanimate objects.
Well, what happens when you try to teleport living things?
But he's willing to let Ronnie write an entire book about him once it's ready. In the meantime, she'll document his development like an embedded journalist. Seems only fair, he'll be embedded in her by Act 2. Ronnie comes home to an asshole in her shower. Sorry, my John's busted. Had to poop in your shower.
I know I should have changed the lock.
It seems like inappropriate workplace behavior. Obviously once they had a thing, but it's now over. But jealous guy Stathis takes more of an interest in Seth Brundle.
I don't even think I'm going to do Brundle.
Is he perverted like me? Would he go down on you in a theater? He's got nothing to worry about at this point. They're just hanging out professionally while playing with a baboon. Whoa, it's like that scene in Titanic. Is Leo railing Kate in there? Oh my god, it's Puppy Monkey Lasagna.
Puppy monkey lasagna. Puppy monkey lasagna.
Man, the pet store is gonna get suspicious. After what I can only imagine as an awkward cleanup, Seth documents his feelings.
Can't deal with flesh.
In other words, the flesh is too hard. Giggity. Ronnie decides to teach Seth more about the flesh, the pink kind in particular. He's using 100% of his little brain now. Yay, science!
Oh, ow. What happened? Oh, my back. Ow.
Oh.
Oh my god, I knew he was a robot! But Seth gets inspired.
Want to try an experiment?
I already told you the back door is closed. Oh, you were talking about that kind of meat. He teleports one of the steaks and tests it out on Ronnie.
Oh, are you serious? A monkey just came apart in there.
Baboon.
And a vegetarian is born.
The computer is giving us its interpretation.
Living tissue is too crazy for the computer to figure out, so he starts programming the computer to figure out the flesh. I must have missed that course in computer science. Jealousy is not pretty.
You stayed with Brundle all night.
Don't you get it? I am finally onto something that's big, huge.
Yeah? What? His cock?
Another test, another baboon.
Let me out, man. I can still smell the other guy. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Success, I think.
What's next?
Well, send the baboon out for tests, see if he's really okay.
Ronnie's got to split because Stathis is threatening to out Seth. While she's kicking his ass mentally, Seth gets drunk.
How about under the desk of Stathis Barnes? She's working for her old boyfriend.
Fuck her, brah. Hookers and bananas, you and me.
What are we waiting for? Let's do it.
No, monsters live inside us and sometimes they win.
You know what happens next. Seth hops in, and a fly rides shotgun. This is how I want to enter every room. Shrouded in fog, bathed in angelic light, and butt-ass naked. Seems normal enough, but he starts exhibiting skills that would impress Mr. Miyagi. Why are there so many flies in his house? He also upgraded with the powers of Gymkata, which is a huge turn-on apparently.
After these messages. We'll be right back.
Seth thinks the teleporter purified him, like a coffee filter. His words, making him better. Like keto, but with way more sugar. Also, slight behavior change.
Waiter! Jesus Christ!
I'd like to see the manager. He also gets a boost in stamina. Walking a little funny there, lady.
I want you to go through. I want to teleport you as soon as possible, right now.
He wants Ronnie to go through the teleportation juice cleanse so they can both be awesome. Ronnie's being a Debbie Downer, so Seth goes shopping.
You're a fucking drag, you know that?
First stop, arm wrestling. With $100 and a prize. I need to drink milk right now. Tell us what he won, Johnny. It's a lifetime supply of crabs. The Itching, the Burning, brought to you by Johnson & Johnson. He's gotta have it. And he gets it. If meth was a woman.
Are you some sort of magician?
Yeah, I'm about to make this disappear. Seth wants another teleport buddy, but she's also afraid to try it.
I'm afraid!
Don't be afraid!
Iconic line incoming.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Yes!
Something happened when you went through, Seth. You've got to get some help. I think you must be sick.
Does this look like a sick man to you?
Careful, that balsa wood beam is load-bearing.
Oh, wait! Seth, please, wait!
Don't worry, Ronnie. I'm sure there's someone out there for you on Plenty of Fish. Nail biters, look away. Or better yet, stop. More than 2 shakes, and you're playing with yourself. Now he starts peeling his fingernails off. I don't need to show it. You don't need to see it. This should tell you everything. Seth checks his records and makes a startling discovery. Thank you, that was informative. Computers, man. Stop biting your nails, they're gone. There you have it. 2 entered, 1 thunderdomed out. 4 weeks later, Seth apologizes and invites Ronnie over. Well, I see he's ready for his day in court. Did you bring the toilet paper? More fly behavior. How about a snack? Ew, Entermans! If he starts eating shit, I'm out.
I seem to be stricken by a disease with a purpose, wouldn't you say?
Seth also seemed to invent YouTube.
How does Brundlefly eat?
Smash that like button or Brundlefly will get you.
Oh my God.
Ronnie gets some disturbing news.
I'm pregnant.
I'm sure it'll work out. You just want to make sure you get all the baby out, just like toothpaste. Would you like to cut the cord? David Cronenberg was my gyno. Meanwhile, Seth is worse. His computer doesn't recognize his voice anymore, and his teeth join his collection of fallen body parts. Yes, his genitalia now lives in his medicine cabinet. I guess that's too much, because Ronnie breaks it off. She didn't break it off, she breaks off the relationship. It fell off on its own. Is it because my dick's in a jar?
You should have seen him. There could be anything in here. In me, in my body.
I don't know if I can arrange it now, right now, tonight.
For a magazine editor, Stathis has some weird pull with abortion clinics.
Is it your child?
I wish. I mean, no, it's not. Hey, her choice, but Seth is more pro-life.
Wait, Seth, no!
Stathis to the rescue! You can tell he means business by the way he has to assemble his murder weapon on site. Brundlefly's plan is to merge himself with another human, in this case Ronnie and her unborn baby. Their combined human genes should be enough to dilute the fly genes in his body, creating an all-new human being. It's like when you have too much salt in your tomato sauce, and you fix it by throwing in a potato. Brundlefly is too quick for the magazine editor. Eat me! Okay. Blarf! Ankle biter! Blarf!
Help me to be human.
You can be part Jeff Goldblum. But I don't wanna! Oh, there's something on my face? Brundlefly is now more fly than Brundle. Man, I love this sequence. The transformation looks painful, it's obviously permanent, and the fact he's holding onto a screaming woman makes this super unsettling. Hey, careful, she's pregnant. It still smells like baboon in here. Stathis is down, but not out. When the fly is in his own pod, Stathis shoots out Ronnie's network cable. Thank God they weren't on Wi-Fi. The program fires before the fly can get out, taking part of his pod with him. Either he's gonna be some uber Jason-styled armored fly monster, or this. Oh man.
Behold my genius! Do I look better? I feel like $1 million. I meant to do this, totally. Now, Ronnie, I can see how things must look from your side. Say, do a brother a solid.
No, I can't.
Remember when I replaced you with that young thought?
That was the fly. Seth Brundle as Superfly. Right away, we're introduced to Seth as a brilliant but socially awkward scientist. He comes out of his shell a bit when he meets Veronica and evolves into a totally new person after the accident. His humanity drops off like body parts. His features, his identity, as seen by the computer no longer accepting his voice, and ultimately his human form. To sell it, Goldblum's performance evolves into this twitchy, gross animal. His rational thinking is methodical to the end. The only thing that seemed to drop off from his mind are his morals. Even as an animal, he gets one final flash of humanity. Geena Davis also gives a terrific performance, going from confident journalist to monster victim. Even though she's reduced to a crying damsel in distress by the end, she still gets the kill shot. And her scene at the end, oh god, it's heartbreaking. As much as this movie is a horror movie, it's also tragic romance. It's like a really gross Romeo and Juliet. It's a relationship torn apart by addiction. Seth is his own worst enemy. A little jealousy, a little insecurity, and he throws scientific method out the window. You might say Ronnie brought out this side of him by introducing To the Flesh, which also brings with it tons of emotional baggage that break down logic, as the flesh often does. His desire to fix himself becomes more and more desperate and sociopathic. In other words, his behavior is less human towards the end. We empathize with his journey, we want him to succeed, and we're counting on it. Setting up Stathis as a potential love rival gladly never materialized. Making him a jealous ex kinda cheapened his character. His desire to protect and save Ronnie feels more like he's protecting his property. Pretty tame by Cronenberg standards, but the makeup and effects are still outstanding. Of course, I was disappointed there was no little fly with a human head in a web going, "Help me." Seth and Ronnie are both sympathetic characters, likable and well performed. Stathis is less sympathetic. When he loses his hand and leg, he gains some sympathy points. Can't help but feel bad for him. The plot is faithful to the original, but turns up the science and body horror in classic Cronenberg fashion. It's almost a third of the movie before the teleporter incident, which gives us plenty of time to get to know our characters and set up the situation. And we're not just given a chorus line of victims. In fact, the only fatality is Seth and these guys' limbs. Oh, and the baboon died, and this fly. So there's a bigger body count than I thought. The Fly is 4.5 Bs. It's brutal, it's sickening, it's a disturbing monster movie, but it's also an awesome, tragic romance, with great lead performances and awesomely gross effects. A worthy, timely update to a classic. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, the bell, you know, the usual YouTube stuff. This is theNewBee, and I'll see you later, kids. Toodles!